here. Hope y'all can hear me well. Set everything up, man. Contender regime boxing. Checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? We are at another episode of Merlot Fridays. I know I showed up a little late, y'all. Don't kill me. You know what I'm saying? I apologize, but we gonna get to it. We gonna get to it, man. Take me a couple of sips, man. We gonna get on to it. Salute to the brother Skinny 2 Liter Reacts in the building. What's good? Appreciate you for coming through, man. What's happening? Jay Harris 2 Real in the building. Salute to you, my brother. What's good with you? Mike Rhyme in the building. What's good? Punch Perfect Boxing in the building. What's good, man? Shout out to Punch Perfect Boxing, man. One of the best boxing channels on YouTube. Tez Frank in the building. Salute to you, my brother. What's happening? Yeah, indefinitely, man. And I had to use that word because, I mean, that's the true nature of the situation. You know, but that could mean next week. It can mean a year, 2 years. It can mean never. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to talk about it. Malik Woody in the building. Salute to you, man. What's good? Appreciate everybody for coming through. You know, we definitely going to chop it up. And, you know, I want to talk about the grand scheme of things. Justin Coleman in the building. Salute to you, my brother. What's good? Said, man, what? Lil Dirt tone. Man, what? Jerron Ennis is up next. Big facts. Big facts. This is going to be, now again, you know, we going to talk about it in the grand scheme of things because indefinitely mean basically shit we don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know when he's going to return back to boxing. We don't know what it's going to look like when he does return. We don't know if he going to return to boxing. You know what I mean? This injury that he's recovering from, you know, though he had a successful surgery, everything seemed like it went well from the articles. And there was another article that was released and Errol Spence went a little bit more in depth on the injury and the severity of it, how precious it was, and the timing of him catching the injury and getting checked out at the physical right before the Manny Pacquiao fight. The doctor spoke on, you know, what could have happened if he would have waited a little bit longer, if they wouldn't have caught it on time. You know, but even though they did go through all the proper channels and he had a successful surgery, we still got to see what this shit gonna look like. So, you know, Brandon Chandler in the building, salute. Yeah, I mean, that would be best case scenario, 3 weeks. But to be honest with you, bro, we really don't know. We really don't know. We got to see how he heals up from the injury. I mean, from the surgery. You know, because there's going to be a recovery process after the surgery. And then we got to see what it looked like. You know what I mean? We got to see what it looked like when he actually gets back to training, when he starts sparring again. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the history of guys that have had this injury, whether it be a torn retina or detached retina, man, you know, this could be a lingering thing. This could be something that, like Errol Spence said himself, most guys, when they suffer this injury, it's career ending. You know, so I really want to talk about what this means for boxing, what this means for the welterweight division, because, you know, we've seen in the past, like Keith Thurman, and I don't really want to compare Errol Spence to Keith Thurman because, in my opinion, it's two totally different situations. Even though Keith Thurman did deal with injuries, he was like actively avoiding fights, to be honest with you. So I think it's two totally different situations. But, you know, Keith Thurman did become unified champion, and his body started to break down. He started to suffer injury after injury after injury, and he found himself out of the ring for an extended period of time. You know, and throughout that time period that Keith Thurman was out of the ring, you know what I mean? Some shit went down. You know, fighters emerged to the top. Errol Spence went on a rampage of killing motherfuckers, you feel me? Terence Crawford moved up to 147 and, you know, started to make a name for himself, though he really didn't fight anybody. You know, different things happen. Sean Porter became champion. It's so much that went down while Keith Thurman was out for those 2 years. You know, and we don't know how long Errol Spence is going to be out. We don't know what the recovery process is going to be like. I know that he's been restricted from being able to do certain activities. You know, he really can't train like he normally would. You know what I'm saying? Even though he already in great shape right now, you know, he's restricted right now. So, of course, we are hoping for the best. I'm hoping for a speedy recovery. I'm hoping that shit, like the brother said, 3 weeks. I'm hoping for the best case scenario, but I think it's worth the conversation to talk about, you know, if he does have to stay out for an extended period of time, what would happen in the welterweight division, what happened to his titles, what Errol Spence would do coming back. And that's what I want to dive into. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to let a couple more people get in here. We're going to start cooking for show. Salute to Sheldon Moore in the building. What's good? Not Zay in the building. What's happening, man? Appreciate everybody for coming through. Y'all hit that like button as you slide through. I appreciate it. Said, but it's time for Bud to take over. Hey, man, this is a great opportunity for Terence Crawford. Let's see what he going to do. You know, it's a great opportunity for him. I mean, if he really like that. Because we don't know. He ain't fought the same dudes that Errol Spence fought. He ain't been in the same situations that Errol Spence been in at the welterweight division. So this is a chance for Terence Crawford to show us, you know, can you be the man Ted Frank said Bud ain't gonna do shit? You know what I'm saying? Is you really like that? We gonna see. Like I said, Errol Spence can be back. He can be back in the gym. Shit, what is it right now? August? Finna be September. He can be back in the gym at the end of October. He can be back in the gym like full-fledged sparring and doing regular boxing activities by November. We don't know. And we know that Terence Crawford and Sean Porter, they have a purse bid situation coming up. Man, I got something in my eye. It feel like. Punch Perfect Boxing said, hope his recovery goes well. He was lucky to identify the injury early. It could have been much worse. Yeah, that's a fact. And that's a blessing right there, bro. That's definitely a blessing. Groundworks Entertainment in the building. Salute to you, my brother. What's good? That's definitely a blessing. I'm glad that they caught it when they did because, you know, ain't no telling what could have happened if he would have went into that Manny Pacquiao fight with this injury or even continued to spar with this injury. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, especially for Errol Spence, the sparring be rougher than the fight. You know what I'm saying? He'll have a rough sparring because he used to sparring bigger guys, strong guys. He'll have a rough sparring and then go out there and just obliterate his opponent. RM in the building. Salute to you. What's good? Baby Brielle, playtime. What's happening? Said, I love boxing. I'm Puerto Rican. And Manny Pacquiao, man, is my favorite fighter. You only talk about black fighters. That's what I don't like about you. Well, you can get the fuck up out of here. You can get your ass up out of here. Ain't nobody tell your ass to come in here. I support who I want to support, motherfucker. She Fred in the building. Salute to you. What's good? 147 has 2 hungry lions that are starving for a title shot. Facts. And that's what I want to see. I want to see the Jaron Ennis's, you know, and this is just assuming if Errol Spence is going to have to be out for an extended period of time, a year, 2 years. And I think we talked about this on a live before. I think it's worth the consideration. I think it's worth the conversation of, because remember I said, we're going to have to start talking about 154. We're going to have to start talking about 154 with Errol Spence. Because if let's say he has to sit out for 6 months, a year, will he be able to keep his belts? That's a question. Hopefully he does, and whether he does or not, it don't change anything about Errol Spence. It don't make him less of a fighter. It don't make him less of an attraction. It don't make him less of a star. He's still Errol the True Spence Jr. and he gonna be that because he got a real foundation built for him. He got a solid fan base, got a great team around him, great coach, great manager, great advisors. He good. But if it does get down to a situation where he loses his titles or it takes him too long to get back from this injury, I think Errol Spence goes up to 154 and just say, fuck it, let me go ahead and start my campaign at 154. I've been unified at 147. I've accomplished some great feats, beat some great fighters, some future Hall of Famers, beat pound for pound guys, did 3 consecutive successful pay-per-views. You know what I'm saying? He's done some amazing things already. And though he is 31 years old, he's a young 31. Now, one could argue that the car accident and this eye injury that may have put some miles on him physically, but he's still a young 31. He started professionally. He started boxing in general late. You know what I'm saying? He didn't start boxing until he was 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? That's late as fuck when you consider most of these guys start boxing at age 4 years old, 5 years old and shit. You know what I'm saying? So he turned pro at what, age 22, 23? Something like that, between 21 and 23, that's like almost on the average side. But a lot of these guys, man, when they've been fighting since a young kid like that, like look at Devin Haney. He turned pro at 16 years old. He was fighting in Mexico professional at 16. You know what I'm saying? He's been fighting for a long time. You know what I mean? But, he's still a young 31 in his prime, and he's only going to get better and stronger if he can recover from this injury. I think he'll only get better, stronger, smarter, more intelligent, more wise. And I think if he does have to sit out for any longer than 6 months to a year, if it's around that time frame, I think he comes back and he goes up to 154. I just don't see the reason of him coming back down to 147. Fresh music in the building, salute. Yeah, man. I don't know why they be coming in here talking about, like, bro, I be having people in the comment section talking about, man, you bias towards Errol Spence, or you bias towards black fighters, or you only talk about black fighters. Man, look, I cover boxing. You know what I mean? I cover boxing here on Contender Regime Boxing. And I cover, the fighters that I feel are worth covering. And I support the guys that I support. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to hear motherfuckers talk about Lomachenko all day, who ain't got shit going on, you want to hear motherfuckers talking about Canelo Alvarez all day and Manny Pacquiao all day, you can take your ass over there. You know what I'm saying? Because that ain't what we doing over here. We talking about some real motherfuckers. And I'll take a sip on behalf of that. You want to hear motherfuckers talk about Naoya Inoue all day, we ain't doing that over here. You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing that. You did. Said, I just think his will is being tested right now. It's mental. I think he'll stay at 147. And you know what? That's if he can continue to make the weight and it's not a struggle for him, and his time off don't hurt him with his activity being kind of restricted due to this injury or this recovery process. If that does happen and he's able to continue to make the weight, then hey, by all means come back and they allow him to keep his belts. Because I feel like if it get down to a situation where they strip him of his titles or they put him in championship and recess, is it really worth it starting all over again? You know what I'm saying? Is it really? Because he wants to be undisputed. And to be honest with you, that's really the only reason he's still at 147 right now. He would have been moved up. but he wants to be undisputed. That is a genuine goal of Errol Spence. And if it does get to a situation where they take his belts, does he still want to, you know what I'm saying? Does he still, is it still worth it to stay at 147 and you got to start all the way over again? You know, unless it's one guy that got all the belts or 3 of the belts or something, you come back, you maybe have to fight 2 fights and you can get undisputed. I think it just got to make sense, you know? So I wonder how long Spence had that shadow in his vision before he finally got it checked out. That's a great question, Tez Frank, because my guess is, I think shit, and I mean, I don't know, you know, just like you asked the question, but you know, I think he probably had that shit going on around the time when he fought Danny Garcia. You know, it could have been something that that was going on leading up to the Garcia fight, or maybe right after, you know. Who knows? But the fact that he's been, you know, performing so well, he performed well in the Danny Garcia fight, which was a phenomenal performance, especially considering everything that he was coming back from, and then how he's been getting himself in such amazing shape. You know, that's very impressive for him to be having that type of situation going on with your vision. You know, that could fuck you up. So that's very impressive that he was still able to hold it down. And, you know, I had him going in there beating the dog shit out of Manny Pacquiao. Man, I think shit, even with that fucked up eye, he'd have still beat the shit out of Manny Pacquiao. I ain't gonna lie to you. Said, you already know the IBF don't play. Yeah, now the IBF, they serious about their mandatories and shit. So, you know, it could be a situation. Now, again, we don't, you know, that's why I put indefinitely in the title, because that shit can mean any amount of time, you know, so he might only be out for 4 to 8 weeks, you know, it might be a situation like that, or it could be an extended period of time, 6 months, something like that. We don't know, but I think it's worth the conversation, and we got to consider all possibilities. Cry 7435 in the building. Salute. What's good? You know, but yeah, the IBF, they are very, very, they're sticklers when it comes to fighting your mandatories and you know, making sure guys get their opportunity at the title when they work their way up in that position. So, you know, it could definitely come down to a situation where they like, well, you got to either fight this guy right now or we gonna take your title. Be still in the building. Salute. Say you can't scare us like that, bro. Yeah, I ain't trying to do no clickbait. I ain't trying to scare. Like, everything I put in the title, this is all real shit. You know what I'm saying? He's currently, just based off of the article that I read, he's currently sidelined. Basically, we don't know. Errol Spence don't know when he gonna fight again. You know, nobody knows. Even the doctor said that it's like, just chill out right now. You know. Sit back, let yourself recover. Don't run. He can't do no real activities right now. You seen him on his Instagram. He was just walking. He put a story on his Instagram where he was just walking. He can't even run right now. You know, it's not because he physically can't run. It's like that's not recommended by the doctor. I don't know if him, you know, jumping up and down and shit, if that could disrupt something, or maybe it's I don't know what it is, but they telling him it's certain shit that he can't do right now while he's in recovery. You know, so until we get some type of definitive information or deadline on when we'll see Errol Spence back in the ring, we just gotta assume that it's gonna be some time before we see him again. And that's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. Of course, me being a huge Errol Spence fan, you know, being from Dallas, Texas, having that attachment to wanting to see Errol Spence achieve great things and just be great and be successful, you know, it's definitely, you know, it's not a good thing that he's going to have to be out. But at the same time, you know, health come first. And, you know, I just want to make sure that, you know, he get that shit taken care of first, because boxing going to be here. It's going to be here. And that's why I wanted to talk about Charles Johnson in the building. Salute to you. What's good? Said, he was walking 6 miles a day. Yeah. He walking, and that's good. Him just staying active like that. But that's why I want to talk about the landscape of 147. Assuming that Errol does have to sit out for a little bit of time, what does this do for the welterweight? What does this mean for the welterweight division? You got Jaron Ennis about to fight Thomas Delorme. You got Virgil Ortiz coming off of a really solid victory versus Mean Machine. We're hoping that Terence Crawford and Sean Porter get made. We still don't know what the hell Keith Thurman gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Is Josh Taylor gonna come up to 147? You feel me? It's a lot of different things that can happen over the course of the next 6 months to a year. And then again, like I said, when Errol does come back, it's not a guarantee that he gonna come back to 147. Is it gonna be worth it at that time? Because remember, I think one thing that we gotta consider, Errol Spence said after that Manny Pacquiao fight that he was supposed to have, he was only gonna have one more fight at 147. It was just gonna be one more fight. So put that in perspective of time. Equate that to the time. If Earl said I was only gonna do this Manny Pacquiao fight, and then I was gonna come back after that and try to fight Terence Crawford, if he wasn't trying to fight, I'm moving up. So think about that in terms of time. What's that? 6 months, a year max? Imagine he fought Manny Pacquiao this month, and ideally he would want to get another fight in because this would be his only fight in 2021. That would have been his only fight in 2021 up until this point. Ideally, he'd want to get another fight in by the end of this year. Think about that in terms of time. We talking about the spring of 2022 max being at 147. So if he gonna be out for 6 months, 8 months, whatever it is, I don't think he gonna be at 147 just sticking around trying to fight these dudes. I think he gonna go up. Anthony F in the building, what's good? Said, can't lie. Been bummed out about Spence's injury. I'm at the point now, though, where I hope he's able to get back to 100%. Plus, he's not exactly the youngest anymore. Yeah, I feel you on that. Said Boost versus Garcia, Battle of Philly. Man, that would be great. But you know what? Just listening to Danny Garcia, I watched a couple of interviews where Danny Garcia was asked about Jaron Boost Ennis, and he don't seem like he's too excited about fighting Jaron Ennis. I don't think Danny Garcia will fight. Now, I mean, if they paid him a big enough bag, he might consider it, but I don't really think Danny Garcia will get in there with Ennis unless it's just a whole lot to gain monetarily. Salute to the sister Ashley's Corner in the building, man. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it. Shout out to Ashley's Corner. What's good? Said she finally caught the live. Yes, ma'am. Appreciate you for coming through. Said, bro, Boost is the future. I actually favor him to beat Bud. Man, Jaron Boost Ennis definitely is the future. He can be the present and the future right now. You know what I'm saying? I think that dude right there, man, I think he ready for the top guys right now. You know, he's just that good. Very skilled fighter. A very well put together fighter. Dalen Chapo in the building, salute, said Boost and Bud holding welterweight down right now. Now, you can't say Bud is, because Bud got to actually fight. I'm hoping that he do. You know, I'm hoping Bud holding shit down. Hopefully he make the Sean Porter fight, and we get a chance to see that. Kind of, see where he is right now. Said if Earl has to vacate, does that make it easier for Bud to unify? Possibly. It depends on who gets their hand on that title. Because let's say Errol Spence has to vacate one of the titles. And let's say Jaron Ennis, what if Jaron Ennis gets in a position to fight for a vacant title? Or title eliminator. I don't know if that make it easier for Bud at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because I like Jaron Ennis' chances versus Terence Crawford. If I had to pick somebody right now who I would favor, you know, I would have to give a slight edge to Terence Crawford just off of experience. And, you know, they both very, very skilled. Both got power. Both switch hitters. Both intelligent fighters. Both very flashy and entertaining and offensively gifted. But I would have to give the edge slightly to Terence Crawford just off of experience. But I like Boost Ennis' chances. You know? So, but yeah, I think this does open up an opportunity for these other guys to really make a statement, because we all know Errol Spence called himself the big fish. You know, and that shit real. That shit real. Errol Spence really is the big fish. He really is that guy in the welterweight division. He is, if you look at on any popular or any credible list for welterweight in that division, they're going to tell you Errol Spence is the #1 fighter. When you look at the resume in the past 3 to 4 years, you see who is the main guy in that division. So with him being sidelined for this period of time, we really got to see, like, okay, what y'all talking about? Like, what y'all gonna do? Terence Crawford, what you gonna do? Are you gonna push to make that Sean Porter fight? Or you gonna do everything in your power possible? I mean, it's going to purse bid, so at this point, it's like shit. Either you gonna fight or vacate, and it's gonna be on Sean Porter to follow through and make that shit happen. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, with this purse bid situation with Terence Crawford and Sean Porter, we gonna find out who really want to fight and who don't want to fight. Yordenis Ugás coming off of the biggest win in his career. Now he got one of the biggest wins of all of, if you look at the top 5, because Yordenis Ugás, I believe, is going to be bumped up to either #2 or #3. Now, with him beating Manny Pacquiao, that puts him in a category where out of all of these top active welterweights, he the only one that can say he got a win over Manny Pacquiao. And that's arguably the best win at welterweight out of these current crop of guys. So he's probably going to be bumped up to #2 behind Errol Spence. Terence Crawford would be at #3. Now, Terence Crawford and Sean Porter are supposed to fight next. I think the winner out of that fight could easily get bumped up to #2 or just solidify their spot at #3. You know what I mean? So I want to see what if Earl can't come back and get that Ugás fight right away. You know, if he's out for a period of time to where Ugás like, fuck it, I need to take a fight right now. Who will Ugás get in the ring with? Who's gonna get that title shot, that opportunity? You know what I mean? Will it be Jaron Ennis? Hey, does anybody know where Jaron Ennis is ranked at in the WBA right now? Because I know he is in the WBA. But I forget last time I checked where he's ranked. You know what I'm saying? I know shit, Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz got something to say. You know, Virgil Ortiz want to fight the best. Will he get an opportunity to fight in a title eliminator in the WBC if Errol Spence has to go to a champion in recess or something like that? It might be a situation where it's Ortiz and Ennis gonna have to fight for a title shot. It's a lot of different scenarios that could take place here. And I think with Spence being out for some time, you know, we'll get a chance to see how this shit play out. Said I'll bet a couple stacks on Porter versus Bud, easy bag. Y'all think Crawford gonna stop Sean Porter? I don't know. I don't know about that. Said the winner of Porter and Crawford definitely need to be number 2. You know what? I would agree with that, just especially if it's Sean Porter that wins. Because if you look at Sean Porter's resume at welterweight, it's I would say it's more impressive than Ugás or Terence Crawford if he beats Terence Crawford. If Sean Porter beats Terence Crawford. If Terence Crawford beats Sean Porter, does that put him over Ugás at number 2 with Ugás coming off of a win over Manny Pacquiao? I think that's arguable. I wouldn't really say that you wrong if you put Crawford at number 2 after beating Sean Porter, because he already at number 2 right now. So he's basically just defending his title versus a top 5 welterweight, and he get a victory. I think shit, you could say he should stay there. But again, you got to consider the fact that Ugás is coming off of a win over Manny Pacquiao. So they need to make Bud fight some people now. Then Spence and Bud will be a 50-50 fight. That's possible. Said Bud stops Porter late. I don't know. I definitely think Bud is going to be the favorite going into that fight, but I don't know if he's going to stop Sean Porter. Ring Magazine got EJ, Bud, then Ugás. Oh, okay. So yeah, if Ring Magazine already, and the reason I'm going off of Ring Magazine's ranking is simply because of the ring belt. And because when you look at the ring belt, it's always between 1 and 2, and that's a very prestigious title. So that's why I'm going off of their ranking when we talking about like the top 5 or top 10 in a particular division. You know what I'm saying? So if Ring already updated they shit and they put Ugás at 3 and they got Bud at 2, then if Bud beats Crawford, he will definitely remain number 2. Paul Johnson in the building, salute, said don't sleep on Bud. There's a reason he is number 1 pound for pound. I mean, I have Errol Spence number 1 pound for pound right now. You know, but at one point, Terence Crawford was number 1 on my list, and I could see why a person would put Terence Crawford number 1. I could definitely see. You know what I'm saying? Terence Crawford is an incredibly skilled fighter, one of the best. Jay Smith in the building, salute to you, bro. Appreciate you for coming through. Said Bud loses to pressure. Okay. Have we really seen, I mean, outside of the Jeff Horn fight, which Jeff Horn applied a lot of ineffective aggression and a lot of ineffective pressure on Terence Crawford. He didn't really have, I don't think he had a solid game plan, and he didn't really come with anything significant behind that pressure. And I believe Sean Porter is, I think Jeff Horn is like a poor man's version of Sean Porter. You know, Sean Porter is 2 times as skilled as Jeff Horn, and he gonna bring the same type of pressure. So I don't really know if he's dealt with anything like that before. But we'll see. We'll see. Broner, Conor Ben. That's a good fight. They talking about making that. They talking about making Adrian Broner versus Conor Ben. That's a good fight. It's a good test for Conor Ben. I would actually love to see that. I think Conor Ben has the potential to be one of those exciting fighters at welterweight, possibly super welterweight one day. I can't really say that he's special, but he's definitely a very powerful guy, very exciting to watch, skilled, strong. But I can't say that I don't know if he's special yet. If he can go in there and do something that we never seen done to Adrian Broner, then that might, you know, that might show us something. Said, I don't give nobody credit for fighting less competition. I judge fighters who fight an opponent in on equal levels. I respect that. Said, sorry, contender, I can never put a 4-loss fighter over an undefeated fighter. So you telling me you wouldn't put Manny Pacquiao over Sebastian Formella? You telling me you wouldn't have ranked Manny Pacquiao over Sebastian Formella, the dude that Sean Porter fought, who was undefeated? I know that's an extreme comparison, but I'm just going off what you said. I know that's an extreme comparison, but it's in context, and I'm just going off what you said. If you say you can't put a 4-loss fighter over an undefeated fighter, well, Sebastian Formella was undefeated, but Manny Pacquiao got 8 losses or 7 losses. So I can see why people would put Ugás over Crawford, because he has. You look at his resume. Now I know before Pacquiao, Jamal James was probably his best win. Some people even thought that he beat Sean Porter. So just him having a controversial loss to Sean Porter, that's a plus. And then he beat Manny Pacquiao. Salute to the brother Big Tex 33 coming through, man. I appreciate you, brother. What's happening? He said Sheldon got quiet. Where you at, brother Sheldon? What's good? Now I just want to hear you said, we ain't talking about Manny versus. Come on now. But you got to keep that same energy though. You said that you wouldn't put a fourth loss fighter over an undefeated fighter. Well, if we just talking about guys who undefeated, I can look up on BoxRec right now and I can find you 15 undefeated dudes who ain't did shit, who ain't beat nobody. But then I can find you a guy like Manny Pacquiao who got 7 losses, who beat a whole lot of motherfuckers. I can show you Ugás, who got 4 losses, who beat Manny Pacquiao. Big Tony in the building, salute, what's good? You know, who beat Jamal James. How is Ugás? Hold on. So he said, we got to be honest. And this is Dalen Chapo said, we got to be honest, Ugás is still a paper champion. How is Ugás a paper champion when he beat the guy that was supposed to be the champion? Do people really feel like Ugás is a paper champion still? They said Manny Pacquiao was wrongfully. Now I know Dalen Chapo, he's a huge Manny Pacquiao fan. You know, he's one of the guys that was, I think, I know he's a huge Manny Pacquiao fan, if I'm not mistaken. But so I know you might still be a little hurt, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But you know, if my favorite fighter had both his eyes swole shut and that motherfucker can't even feed himself, Manny Pacquiao eating applesauce like that motherfucker Manny Pacquiao like he don't even know where to spoon at. She like, Manny, I'm right here, Manny. He can't even see what he eating and shit. But but do people really believe that Ugás is a paper champion? Because remember they said that Manny Pacquiao was the real champion. So Ugás beat the guy fair and square, straight up, that they were saying that he was gifted the belt from. So he can't be. He beat the real champion. Number one, he worked his way up to be the regular champion at WBA, and Manny Pacquiao was a super champion. Manny Pacquiao got dropped down to champion in recess. Ugás was elevated to super champion. Well, the universe aligned those two to be in a position to prove who is the real champion, and Ugás came out on top. So, Q Brown in the building, salute. Slide Encounter in the building, what's good? Yeah, you know, it's how can you say that Ugás is a paper champion when he beat the guy that was the champion? You can't say that. He earned this spot. And look, this was a prime example of being in a position to really earn your spot. It was head up. Yeah, they could have put him in a situation where he fought somebody else that was either just as good or better than Manny Pacquiao at this time to prove that. But no, he went out there, he fought Manny Pacquiao, and he won convincingly. So I think you got to give Ugás his respect. You know what I'm saying? Now, you can say, well, Manny was 42 years old, but Manny coming off of, I know it's 2 years ago, but he's coming off of a win versus Keith Thurman, undefeated champion. So you gotta give him credit on that. Because I'm gonna tell you like this. If that was Errol Spence out there that was fighting Manny Pacquiao, and he went out there and put Manny on a stretcher like I thought he would have did, you know what I'm saying? Beat the damn break. See, Manny eyes would have been shut, but he would have been eating out a straw. You know what I'm saying? If that was Earl in there. But if that was Earl that went out there and got that victory, I would have expected guys to give him credit. And I know some people would have tried to take credit away, but I would have gave him his credit. So if I would have gave Errol Spence his credit, I'm going to give Ugás his credit too. You know what I'm saying? If that was Terence Crawford out there that got the victory over Manny Pacquiao, I would have gave him his credit. You know what I'm saying? You got to give him his credit, man. Donnie Johnson in the building, salute. Said Ugás is better than Thurman. That would actually be a good fight, man. I wanted to see that. You know, before they pulled up, before they brought up the Ugás versus Fabian Maidana shit, you know, I wanted to see Ugás versus Thurman. I thought that would have been a great way to kind of get Keith Thurman back in the mix, get him back in title contention, and ultimately being able to verse Crawford or Spence, or maybe even Manny Pacquiao in a rematch. Said Thurman versus Ugás can still happen. Hell yeah, it can. Hell yeah, it can. If Spence can't come back in a timely fashion to unify with Yordenis Ugás, I would love to see Thurman in there with Ugás. That's a great fight. That's a great fight. You got Thurman coming back feeling like he got something to prove. You know what I'm saying? You look at the fact that Ugás beat Manny Pacquiao. Thurman probably feeling like, oh, shit, you know, damn, I should have beat Manny Pacquiao, but this dude beat him. Now I can get my stripes off him. Ugás is going to have a renewed and improved level of confidence. You know, feeling like, damn, you know, I finally earned my respect. My name is known now. Motherfuckers respect my name and they respect my game and the work that I done put in this division. And I actually got a real belt that I earned, you know, and can't nobody take that away from me unless they beat me in the ring. So that's a great fight. I would love to see Ugás versus Thurman. I would love to see that fight. That's a hell of a fight. Said Pac would have went the distance with EJ but got dominated. Why do people act like Earl is a knockout king? Man, Earl would have beat the dog shit out of Manny Pacquiao, bro. Ugás could have stopped Manny Pacquiao, but he played it smart. That version of Manny Pacquiao in the ring with Ugás, bro, he would have got his ass whooped. Think about it like this. Think about it. Let me be still. Let me talk to you real quick. I'm talking to you. I want to talk to you real quick. Let me tell you why Earl would have stopped Manny Pacquiao. How many punches did Yordenis Ugás throw? He threw 406 punches. Yordenis Ugás threw 406 punches. Errol Spence is capable, and he's shown in fights that he can throw upwards of 1,000 punches. Now imagine Errol Spence fighting a stationary Manny Pacquiao who is still opening himself up. He's stationary and he's letting his hands go. So he's open. He ain't shelling up, and he ain't Mikey Garcia. He ain't just folding up all night trying to survive. He actually right there he's there for the taking. Imagine Errol Spence with a jab, a consistent jab all night, pushing Manny backwards, going to his head and to his body. He don't have to be no knockout artist. He don't have to be no one-punch knockout artist. I told y'all it's going to be an accumulation of ass whooping. Freddie Roach would have been out there throwing the towel, or the ref would have had to peel Errol Spence up off of him. Manny Pacquiao was not going the distance with Errol Spence. Not. I just couldn't see that happening, bruh. Talking about his legs tight and shit, he would have got beat. Now, again, I want to put this in perspective. Yordenis Ugás beat Manny Pacquiao in a chess match, which Errol Spence could have done as well. But think about it. Yordenis Ugás threw 406 punches. If Errol Spence just throw 800, which is on the low end for Errol Spence, bro, he beating the shit out of Manny Pacquiao, dog. And it's going to be bad. It would have been bad, man. Did you see Manny Pacquiao eyes? You think Freddie Roach, if twice the amount of punches that Yordenis Ugás threw was going at Manny Pacquiao, do you think Freddie Roach would have stood back and watched that shit? Nah, he would have threw the towel in, bro. The fight wouldn't have went 12 rounds, bro. It wouldn't have went 12 rounds. Said Ugás was fighting counter-reactive. Spence would exactly. Ugás was basically a counterpuncher versus Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence would have been first, and that wouldn't have did shit but made Manny Pacquiao open up even more. Bro, he would have beat the dog shit out of. Bro, that shit kills me that we wasn't able to see that, bro. Bro, motherfuckers just don't know, dog. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, dog. Manny Pacquiao would have got fucked up. He would have got fucked up, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all. And it kind of hurt a motherfucker down inside, because I'm like, we'll never know. We'll never know. We'll never know, bro. We'll never know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, it would have been a massacre. It would have been a massacre, bro. It would have been a massacre. R. West in the building, salute. Said a little late, bro. It's all good shit. I came in this bitch late today. You know what I mean? Look at Dalen Chapo that got sniped down for talking crazy. Yeah, man. Boys in here ain't playing about that bullshit, man. Man, these boys ain't playing about that bullshit. Jamal Henderson skating on thin ice. Look at him. He must be a Terence Crawford fan. Or one of these token Manny Pacquiao fans. Salute to the brother 9 Mastermind 3 in the building. What's good? Walter Lee in the building. Hey, Walter Lee said, Walter Lee said, I'm late but loaded. That boy came in this bit with the strap. Said, what's good, everybody? Hope y'all having a great Friday evening, man. I appreciate you for coming through, dog. I'm doing well, man. This has been a very relaxing week, man. You know, been able to get some things in order, man, and my Friday is going according to plan, man. Everything is good. I hope the same for you as well, man. Said Pacquiao and his fans got their feelings hurt. Yeah, man. You know, they still up in her. They still in her upset. They sad, bro. See, they think because, you know, I reference Ugás' performance and compare it to what I feel like Errol Spence would have did, but that's only natural because that's who Manny Pacquiao was supposed to fight. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the Queen Nick J in the building. She said, what we drinking? Well, I was drinking some Merlot, Robert Mondavi. You know what I'm saying? That's my shit, man. You know, special edition. That's my shit. You feel me? You know, but yeah, man. You a little late though. I don't know why you showed up late today. What's up with that? Dirty Hard Hit South in the building. What's good, man? Allen in the building. What's happening? Yeah, bro. These Manny Pacquiao fans still hurt. They still hurt, bro. And they think I'm trying to like take some. I ain't taking nothing away from Ugás at all, but I'm just trying to keep things in perspective. You know? Just trying to keep it in perspective. Y'all got to understand, bro. Ugás beat Manny Pacquiao. Ugás knotted up both Manny Pacquiao's eyes in a chess match, only throwing 400 punches. That has to be considered, bro. You got to talk about that. Nick J said, I'm still working, got to get it already. I can excuse you then. You know what I'm saying? You working, you get to that paper. I don't blame you at all, man. Go ahead and get to it. It's mandatory. It's mandatory. Somebody asked me, what you think about Woodley and Jake Paul? Man, look. I'm going for Tyron Woodley. I want to see him knock Jake Paul's head off his shoulders. No cap. But, I don't know, man. Shit. I can't really call it. I don't know what they got going on, man. I can't say that I'm confident in Woodley beating Jake Paul. I can't tell you that. Because, you know, even though Jake Paul, even though he is technically like an amateur, you know what I'm saying? He's been focusing on just straight. Say he better be Jake ass. Look, he been focusing on straight boxing. And he been taking this shit serious. And if you look at Jake Paul, man, he really got a credible team behind him. Said that shit WWE. right, Sheldon Moore. So it's like, I don't really know like what to think because it seemed like I don't know if it's just for entertainment or it's a real fight. I don't know. So that's why I really can't get too invested in it. But I'm not confident that Tyron Woodley can beat Jake Paul. You know, I'm looking at Tyron Woodley on the pads and on the heavy bag and shit. You know, he looked like he got power and stuff, but he looked kind of stiff. But when I look at Jake Paul, he don't look the best either, but he looked more fluid. He looked like he been doing this shit longer. Now, we know that Tyron Woodley is a real fighter. He's a world champion in MMA, though. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's 40 years old. See, that's something that people ain't talking about. That's something that people ain't talking about. He's not a boxer. And on top of that, he's 40 years old. Now, he's in great shape. He's in excellent shape. So, we'll see. We'll see. But I don't know who's going to win that fight. I'm going for Woodley, though. I'm rooting for Tyron Woodley. I want to see him hit Jake Paul with some shit that's going to have Jake Paul head over here and his body over there. That's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not confident that Woodley going to win because I think Jake Paul is more experienced in pro boxing. And when I look at Tyron Woodley training and I look at Jake Paul training, when I see Jake Paul, you know, hitting on the bag and the mitts and shadow boxing, he looked better. He just looked like a guy that really be doing his boxing shit. You know what I'm saying? He don't really look like a boxer, you feel me? But he looked better than Woodley. I ain't gonna lie to you. Said that boy Jake Paul cherry pick better than Canelo. It's an art form. Facts. And people gotta start looking at cherry picking as an art form. You know what I'm saying? It's masterful. People be thinking I'm hating when I say Canelo Alvarez is a masterful cherry picker. You know, he is. It's a masterful art form if you that good at it. Did y'all see Jake Paul's list? He said after this fight, he got Canelo on there next. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if he get past Woodley, I wouldn't mind seeing Canelo versus Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna buy that shit, but you know, I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. I think Jake Paul got a better chance of beating Canelo than Yildirim had. Who y'all think will win out of Jake Paul and Abner Yildirim? I'm putting my money on Jake Paul. Said Canelo ducked Demetrius to be undisputed. Facts. In the glamour division at middleweight, goes to a subdivision and beats a bunch of inexperienced fighters. Facts. Holy Inferno. That's big facts. He did just that. Yeah. Man, look, if Jake Paul, if he beat Woodley and his next fight, if they say, look, he fighting Abner Yildirim, I'm picking Jake Paul. I think he'll knock Yildirim out. You know what I'm saying? So if Canelo will fight Yildirim, shit, you might as well fight Jake Paul. You know, my boy D tried to tell me, he said, man, no, Canelo too prideful to fight Jake Paul. I'm like, shit, he wasn't too prideful to fight Yildirim. Shit. He said, Abney. He called that man by his first name. He said, Abney beat the dog shit out of Paul. No, bro, I'm picking Jake Paul over Abney Yildirim, bro. No, man, hell no. I think Jake Paul will hit that man with a straight right and put his lights out, turn his TV off. Said, yo, contender, did you catch Maxeo versus Seha fight? Yeah, man. I thought Maxeo was finna lose, man. And, you know, Seha was putting them things on him. But then, shit, he caught Seha with some shit that Seha couldn't believe. Turned that man TV off. He said, do you think, would you want to see Maxeo versus Gary Russell Jr.? Hell yeah. That's a good fight. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. I think that's a real good fight. You know? I don't know if it would align with the whole, with the way Gary Russell Jr. does his fights. I mean, he really only fights mandatories. So, you know, I don't really know what Gary Russell Jr. got going on. But yeah, I would definitely watch that fight. I think that's a good fight. Richard Dean in the building. Salute to you, my brother, for coming through. I appreciate you for pulling up. Say he fresh out work already. I see y'all boys getting to that paper. Y'all boys and gals getting to that paper, man. You know what I'm saying? It's lovely to see. Jake Paul versus Bill Haney. Summer 2022. Damn. Summer 2022. Jake Paul versus Bill Haney, man. Cut it out. Man, Bill Haney better not get in there with no damn Jake Paul, man. Said Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury will be next. They got beef. Yeah. Shit, I mean, that'll be interesting to watch. But you see Jake Paul, he got a hit list, though. So after this fight, he got Canelo next. Hey, if he's sticking with the hit list, bruh, Canelo got to answer that bell. He said, don't put Bill in this year, bruh. Hell no. Don't put Bill in this, bruh. Don't put Bill in this, man. Man, Bill better not get his ass in there fucking with no damn Jake Paul. Hell no. I don't want to see that. But, yeah, I want to see Paul get in there with Canelo. Fuck it. You know, Canelo fighting niggas named Yildirim and shit anyway. You know, Rocky Field hand and shit. You know, Jake Paul is I think Jake Paul is good as them guys. Said I'm real tuned up for October. I think Wilder got this. Yeah, man. I'm excited about Wilder versus Fury 3. You know, I love what I've been seeing from Deontay Wilder. And I heard that from his camp, they were saying that it won't be like a one-punch knockout, or basically alluding to the idea that, you know, Wilder mixing things up. And if you look back at past fights, you know that if you go back and you look at Wilder's resume, look at his film, he got some fights where he putting them bitches together. You know, where he throwing, you know what I'm saying, he mixing them up, you know, throwing an uppercut, you know, throwing overhand rights and mixing shit up. And he can do that. We know that he's capable. So I would love to see him get out there with Fury and just, you know, bring his whole arsenal, mix it up. And then you still got that straight right hand in the back of your arsenal whenever you want to use it. So I'm excited to see that fight. And you know, I'm riding with the Bronze Bomber all day. You know, I think it's gonna be a hell of a task because Fury gonna come with it. And I think this extra time that Fury done had to prepare, you know, I think that he's definitely been cooking some things up behind the scenes. Hopefully it's all fair within the rules of the sport, and they can get out there and have a clean fight straight up and down and see who the best man is. Salute to the brother Knockout Boxing 86 TV in the building. What's good? Said salute, bro. Got a glass of Moscato for Merlot Fridays. Cook him on this boxing shit. Big facts, man. Y'all go subscribe to the brother Knockout Boxing 86 TV. You know what I'm saying? 100, man. Appreciate you for coming through. Say he don't telegraph the right hand no more either, so it's hard to defend it now. Yeah, and that's what I want to see from Wilder. I want to see him bring the total package because I know he's capable. I know he got all the tools. He just got to put it together for one fight. That's it. Just got to put it together for one fight. We seen what he can do to Fury with just the right hand. So imagine when he mix, you know, put that jab out there consistently. Go to the body a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? When he throws, when he use that right uppercut, throw that left hook more. That's what I really want to see. I want to see the left hook more from Deontay Wilder. I want to see the overhand right, just not the straight right. Because I think that overhand right could be just as dangerous when you look at them long arms and you see that overhand right coming down on a motherfucker on a motherfucker temple or that ear. Man, that shit could do damage. That shit could do damage. So I'm extremely excited about that. Said Mikey versus Haney. Man, Mikey Garcia ain't serious about none of that shit, man. Until he showed me that he really trying to make these fights. What happened to Mikey Garcia versus Regis Prograis? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what he got going on, bro. I wanted to see the Regis Prograis fight. I thought that would have been good. And I actually gave the edge slightly to Mikey Garcia, but that's a good-ass fight. Yeah, he definitely got to go to Fury body, man. Definitely got to do that. That's going to be key. Going to that body and slowing Fury ass down. You know, don't let him get in no confident position where he can just walk forward on you and think he just going to boss hog some shit. You know, put Fury on his back foot where he supposed to be at. And that way you can tee off on him how you want to. Said Garcia and Diaz about to fight for the right to duck Devin Haney again. It's the interim champion. Facts. And you know what? That I was gonna do tonight's show off of that. I had the title was gonna be, but I really wanted to talk about this. But it was gonna be I'll probably do some shit on that. I'll probably go do another live this week. But it was gonna be is Ryan Garcia and JoJo Diaz. Do they have a restraining order on Devin Haney? It was going to be some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I was going to stir motherfuckers up. Like, a real question, like, do they have a restraining order on Devin Haney, bro? Like, what the fuck? How both of y'all get into a mandatory position to fight Devin Haney, but neither one of y'all want no smoke, though? You know what I'm saying? How you get in a position to be the mandatory, both of y'all? Golden Boy, they got some type of restraining order versus Devin Haney. They got some type of protection order for Garcia and JoJo Diaz. And look, this the thing that killed me the most. This the shit, and I gotta touch on this before we get up out of here, y'all. And I'm glad that Knockout Boxing brought this shit up. This the shit that killed me the most about Devin Haney. It's like everybody talks so much shit. Everybody got so many negative things to say about Devin Haney. But when it comes down to actually making a fight, nobody want no smoke. You got guys who are in the mandatory position, the same position that Sean Porter is in right now to fight Terence Crawford. You got guys in these positions to fight for the championship title, WBC, but they opt out to fight a lesser opponent for no title. When you gonna make more money with Devin Haney, you're gonna get more exposure, and you're gonna get an opportunity to get a world title. So you mean to tell me these guys would rather fight a lesser opponent with none of those perks, none of those opportunities on the line, as opposed to challenging themselves versus a real elite fighter, and you get a chance to be a world champion. You get a chance to put Devin Haney on your resume. Remember, Devin Haney is a guy who was ranked the #1 fighter in the world at 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? Come as the amateur. This man was ranked #1, 15, 16 years old. This man was ranked #1 in the world as an amateur. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy who could have went to the Olympics, but he was too young, so he decided to turn pro at 16. And he went to Mexico and fought a couple of guys, you know, because that he couldn't turn pro in the U.S. at 16. Then when he turned 17, he came over to the U.S. and he fought pro. This is a guy who's very decorated and very skilled and highly touted. And he's a world champion now. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to get a bigger payday. You're going to get the chance to put Haney on your resume. And you automatically put yourself in a power position in the lightweight division if you beat Devin Haney. These guys are foregoing all of that because they are afraid, or I don't know if it's the fighter that's afraid, but it's the management for sure that's afraid to put their fighter in a position to take a L. Or, you know, JoJo Diaz already got beat by Gary Russell Jr. So it's kind of like with Diaz kind of having a resurgence of popularity, it's like, damn, do I really want to put him in there with Devin Haney so he can take another L? Now we got to try to build him all the way back up and make people believe again. With Ryan Garcia, he already got knocked down by Luke Campbell, so people like, you know what I'm saying? Do he really got a chin like that? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What his skills really like? Let's see. You feel me? But Golden Boy don't really want to put him in a position of where, you know, they don't got Canelo no more. They got Virgil Ortiz. So Virgil Ortiz really, he's going to be like, he's the real Golden Boy over there right now. But we know Virgil Ortiz the real deal. You know what I'm saying? We know he the goods. Yeah, he still got to fight the top guys. But I think the consensus is that Virgil Ortiz is the good. But Ryan Garcia is supposed to be their next best guy over there. They don't want to put him in that fire with Devin Haney. He take that L. He already dealing with mental issues and shit. He take an L to Devin Haney, but we probably won't see or hear from Ryan Garcia again. He get in there with Devin Haney, he probably delete his Instagram page. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia probably delete his whole social media. If he get in there, he get his ass whooped by Devin Haney. All the shit that he done talk. You know what I'm saying? All the shit his fans done talk. You know, he probably couldn't even show up to them training camps with Canelo now. You know, he gonna be holding his head down walking in there with Canelo now. They gonna be looking at you like, damn, you got your ass whooped. You can't train with us no more. Said, well, put him in there then. I'm sick of his ass. Yeah, put him in there. That's what I want to see. But I knew they was on bullshit when Devin Haney and Bill Haney pulled up on Bernard Hopkins. And they asked him, go look up on YouTube if you ain't seen that shit already. It got millions of views with Radio Raheem and them. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney, Bill Haney, they talking to Bernard Hopkins. They like, what's up? Why we can't make the fight? What's good? Bernard Hopkins basically told you right there, like, we don't feel that Ryan Garcia is ready right now. And Ryan Garcia told you in so many different ways that he's not ready for Devin Haney. But yet these dudes come out and talk shit when Devin Haney got hit by Jorge Linares after dominating Jorge Linares for 10 rounds. He took a shot. You see Ryan Garcia get on social media. Yeah, if that was me, I would have did this or I would have did. Man, get the fuck out of here, bro. You not trying to fight. So what you talking shit for if you ain't trying to fight? Why you got an opinion or a comment on Devin Haney if you in the same division of this man, but you don't want to fight? You the mandatory for his championship world title, but you don't want to fight. That's why I can't take these dudes serious. And JoJo Diaz, the same thing. JoJo Diaz, bro, you talking crazy after your fight with old boy, I forgot who he just fought, Javier Fortuna. You get on the mic talking about you want to fight Devin Haney, but when it come down to it, you and your management are reluctant to make a fight with Devin Haney. Y'all don't want no smoke. Y'all don't really want to fight Devin Haney. Everybody got something to say about Devin Haney except let's fight. Rolando Romero, what happened to him? He on camera talking all type of greasy shit, but now that Devin Haney done put a APB out on him, you know what I'm saying? Devin Haney done put everybody on notice like, I'm looking for Rolly Romero. What's up? I ain't heard shit from Rolly Romero since. I ain't heard shit from him. Said, I really don't understand the fear of Devin Haney. Let me tell you what it is, bro. Because, see, I already know you probably thinking about power. You probably thinking about, see, when you think about, it ain't even really about, like, fear of being hurt or some shit like that. Bro, these people, boxing is more than just, like, it's about your brand being damaged. It's about that image. It's about that fake facade that you built up as this amazing thing. You know what I'm saying? You talking about, yeah, the power. See, boxing ain't about that. It ain't about just power, bro. If boxing was just about power, then Marcos Maidana be the greatest fighter you ever seen, but he not. He lost to Floyd Mayweather 2 times. If boxing was just about power, no, it's not about that. It's about these dudes having a fake image that they are some monster, and then they get in there with a boxer like Devin Haney, and they get their ass outboxed, and they look like a fucking amateur. Now everybody looking at you like you normal. Now you can't go to the networks and sell this image of some monster no more. Because now you go to the networks and you say, look, I got this monster. He knocking everybody out. Well, he didn't knock out Devin Haney. Devin Haney made him look like he was normal. That's the issue right there. That's the problem. That's what it is. They know that Devin Haney is a superior skilled fighter. They know he is a bad matchup for him. Skillfully. The dimensions, the arm reach, the ring IQ, the boxing ability, the defense, the hand speed, the footwork. It's more, just like Walter Lee said, actually getting outboxed in a shutout is way more embarrassing. Think about it like this. If you go out there, all right, let's look at Erickson Lubin versus Jamel Charlo. Now look, Erickson Lubin went out there. The fight lasted for a few seconds. You know what I'm saying? The fight lasted for a few seconds. He went out there with Jamel Charlo. He got caught with some shit, and he got knocked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Now, we really don't know what that fight would have looked like in 12 rounds. Now, Erickson Lubin can always say that, well, he caught me with a lucky shot. You know what I'm saying? But next time I'll be prepared for that and I'll come with a better game plan. Now, think about what Errol Spence did to Mikey Garcia. Think about this. Mikey Garcia was a top 5 pound for pound fighter when he fought Errol Spence. Top 5 pound for pound on everybody's list, on all the major websites and, you know, whatever boxing forum or website you wanted to look at. Mikey Garcia was ranked as a top 5 pound for pound guy when he fought Errol Spence. He goes in there with Errol Spence and he does not win a round. Now, when you look at pound for pound, they not talking about power. When you rank fighters as a pound for pound fighter, power is not the end all be all. It's about your skill level. What it's about is, if you were the same size as this guy, my skill level would be better than yours. That's what pound for pound is about. So you take a guy that's on an elite level, highly touted like Mikey Garcia as the top 5 pound for pound guy. That means people view your skill level on a very high level. They view your skill level as elite. So you go in there and you get outboxed 12 rounds to zip by Errol Spence. It's embarrassing. It makes you look ordinary as fuck. Look what Floyd did to Canelo. Canelo was knocking everybody out. But when he got in there with Floyd, Floyd toyed with him. Floyd made him look like, you don't even belong in the same ring with me. It wasn't about power. Not one time did Floyd knock Canelo down. Not one time did he have Canelo stumbling all over the ring doing a stanky leg and shit. No. He outclassed him. He outskilled him. He literally showed him that I am better than you in every aspect of boxing. That's why these guys don't want to fight Devin Haney. They don't want that type of embarrassment on their brand. Ryan Garcia is supposed to be a knockout artist. The left hook, oh my God, the hand speed. He on motherfucking Instagram and shit, hitting regular civilians and shit with left hooks while they got the bodysuit on and shit like he's some motherfucking power puncher or something. He get in there with Devin Haney, motherfuckers gonna be like, you ain't hit Devin Haney like that. The whole image of him being some monster, that shit, it's the same thing with Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez supposed to be some knockout artist. He's supposed to be this amazingly powerful monster. But you put him in there with Devin Haney, all of a sudden he look regular as fuck. Now how you gonna sell Teofimo Lopez in the next fight? How you gonna sell Ryan Garcia in the next fight? You say he overrated, but why these dudes ain't fighting him? Why they not fighting him? See, that's what I don't understand. All I hear is criticism for Devin Haney, but these dudes don't want no smoke. If he overrated, why your favorite fighter not fighting him? They don't want to see these dudes in the ring not being able to hit Devin Haney, but they getting punched on all night. Devin, bro, like when I imagine how a fight with Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia would go, bro, it's comical. It's comical because Ryan Garcia has no defense whatsoever. His chin is straight in the air. Bro, he has no defense at all. And he's flat-footed as fuck. Ryan Garcia will have Devin Haney will have a field day with Ryan Garcia. All I see is him hitting and not getting hit, beating the shit out of Ryan Garcia. Whether he knock him out or not. And I think he can stop him. Just because off of the lack of defense from Ryan Garcia and the fact that he's going to be swinging for the fences, not hitting shit, and he going to be getting fucked up. But even if he don't stop Ryan Garcia, he gonna beat that man so bad that people gonna question whether or not you even belong on this level. Now, Golden Boy, they can't afford that. They can't afford that. So they rather put him in there with somebody that gonna make Ryan Garcia look good. Deion Kennedy. I want to see Loma versus Haney too. DJ say after all the so-called exposure when he fought Linares, nobody still said they want the smoke. Facts. Because you know what? Let me tell you, I'm glad you brought that up, Nick J. Because what the boxers and the promoters and the higher ups in these networks and shit like that, the people that's controlling the careers of these fighters, what they are seeing that these so-called boxing fans and these Devin Haney detractors are not seeing, they saw those first 12, they saw the first 10 rounds. They saw the first 10 rounds. See, these other people, they only saw the 11th and the 12th. They only saw the 10th, the last second of the 10th and the 11th and the 12th. That's all they saw. They didn't see the first 10 rounds of Haney versus Linares. Oscar De La Hoya, he saw the first 10 rounds. He know what Devin Haney can do. He know that he was outboxing and outclassing Linares more decisively than Linares ever been beaten his entire career. He know that Devin Haney was doing any and everything that he wanted to do to Linares, and he decided to walk forward and be aggressive versus Linares when he didn't even have to. That's how much control, that's how much in control that Haney was. Salute to D McGee in the building. What's good? That's how much in control Devin Haney was versus Linares. That after the 5th or 6th round, he was beating this dude so easily that he said, fuck it. I am going to go forward and fight aggressively. I'm going to fight outside of my character just to please the fans. That's how much he was dominating Linares. So Oscar De La Hoya, Bob Arum, they saw the first 10 rounds. See, these fans, they didn't see the first 10 rounds. They just saw the last second. Remember, Linares hit Haney literally at the bell of the 10th round. What was it? The end of the 10th. At the bell. They only saw that punch in the 11th and the 12th. They didn't see none of the first 10 rounds. These fans. You know what I'm saying? So they let you know where they really coming from. They don't talk about how Devin Haney dominated Jorge Linares, who's still to this day one of the best fighters at lightweight. The same guy that knocked down Lomachenko, the same guy that beat fucking Luke Campbell easily, and Luke Campbell damn near stopped Ryan Garcia. See, they didn't see the first 10 rounds, these quote-unquote fans, these Haney detractors. They didn't see the first 10 rounds. All they saw was the last 2.5 rounds. That's it. Said they saw the first 10 rounds, but they didn't know that they was watching a masterpiece. Dummies. That's another great point. That's another great point. But see, I don't even want to give these motherfuckers the benefit of the doubt like that. You know what I'm saying? I be looking at it from the perspective like these people know what's going on, but they blatantly playing the other side. I don't even want to give them that type of cop-out that they just ignorant. I mean, yeah, they are ignorant as fuck. But I don't want to get them like these motherfuckers I Am Sam and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like these motherfuckers retarded and shit. I don't want to give them that. These motherfuckers know what's going on, but they choose not to acknowledge. I think they know what's going on, but they want to play dumb. That's what I see. Galvatron in the building. Salute. What's good? Yeah, that's what I see. You know, I think I always err on the side of, you know, these folks trying to play me like I'm crazy. Like I be assuming that these folks, they see the same shit I see, but they playing the other side purposely. Because then if I give them that benefit of the doubt, it's like, how can I really blame them? Can you blame a motherfucker that don't know no better? You know what I'm saying? Nah, I want to be able to hold these motherfuckers accountable. I want to be able to hold these folks accountable. You dig? If I pretend like they don't know no better, I can't really hold them accountable. Said we have to really love boxing because boxing doesn't love us back. Look at all the great fights that are literally possible that won't happen. Yeah, facts. Valentine in the building. Salute to you, my brother. What's good? Said, what do we mean by indefinitely? Indefinitely mean just that. We don't know. We don't know when he coming back. You know what I'm saying? He could be out 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. He can never come back to boxing. It's just a harsh reality. We don't know. And this is just based off of Errol Spence and the doctors that reviewed him. We don't know. We just got to sit back and see what happened. There is no timetable on Errol Spence coming back. Said Earl be back 2022. Man, that's what I'm hoping for sure. You know what I'm saying? Shit, best case scenario, he'll get back by the end of this year. You know what I'm saying? I don't think any of those scenarios will be ruled out. You know what I'm saying? And we just gotta wait and see. So, you know. But I think shit, however it go, you know what I mean? Shit, Earl gonna be straight. He gonna be straight. He already done a lot. And like I said, he come back. Whether he come back to 147 or go straight to 154, either way, you know what I mean? Shit, he still got a whole lot of fight left in him. So we gonna see what's up for sure. Said I think EJ will be back by the end of the year, or at least the beginning of 2022. He'll be in the ring with Ugás. I would love to see that. Shout out to Latique Wilson in the building. What's good? Said, who is the best lightweight in your opinion? In my opinion, I think the best lightweight is Gervonta Tank Davis right now. I think Tank Davis beats everybody at lightweight right now. And I think Devin Haney would be right behind him. Somebody asked me, before I get out of here, somebody asked me, and I think motherfuckers already know this, but somebody asked me, they said you from Texas, who you got out of Boots and Virgil Ortiz. That's a great fight, but I think Jaron Ennis is more skilled fighter overall, but I think it's a great fight, and I think both guys got a chance to win, so I'm going to say that. Oh, that was R. West that asked that, yeah. I think it's a great fight. I think Boots is the more complete fighter, but I believe that Ortiz has a chance to win. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a great fight. Whenever they do make it happen, it's going to be a hell of a fight. Because you've seen Ortiz got that dog in him. Now, we haven't really, I know Ennis got that dog, but we haven't really seen him be like tested like that. We ain't really seen him have to go through no adversity. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we know that Ortiz is willing to go through that, and he willing to bounce back, you know what I'm saying, and hold shit down like that. He said, I know y'all don't go against Texas. Now, I'm going to be real with you, bro. Like, I'm going to keep it 100. You know I support Texas for sure. You know what I'm saying? Especially DFW. But I'm going to keep it real, man. Ortiz got a great chance, but if I had to give either guy an edge, I would give it to Jaron Ennis because I think he's a more complete fighter. And I think he got more tools. But I will say that Ortiz definitely got a shot, man, because, you know, he got that dog in him, he got the skill, he got everything. It ain't gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be easy for Boots. Salute to their brother Charles Olawafemi in a super chat coming through and showing big love, man. I appreciate you for coming through, man. He said, just got here. Bro, he said, you messed up my day. What you mean by indefinitely? Yeah, bro, I'm not trying to like clickbait or scare nobody or nothing, but I mean, it means just that, bro. Like, we just don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know when Earl gonna be back. Looking at the last article that I seen with Errol Spence himself going a little bit more in depth on the injury, the surgery, and, you know, the doctors telling him that he's restricted on certain type of activities. Like literally right now, he can't jog, he can't run, he can't do no boxing related workouts. He can only walk and shit. And you know, the doctors told him to chill out, and they really don't know when he's gonna be back to full health. So we just gotta wait and see how he recovers from the surgery, how his vision is looking, and then you know we'll go from there. But it's indefinite right now, bro. You know, and I mean that could be good or bad. It could mean that he'll be back shit by October, November. You know, or it could be 6 months to a year. We don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? It could be a situation where he don't come back. You know, but of course I'm not thinking like that. I'm thinking positive for sure. But I just feel like it's worth the conversation. It's worth for us to discuss, to talk about what this could mean for welterweight, the how this leaves an opening for other guys to make statements. What would happen to Errol Spence's titles if they possibly put him in champion in recess or strip him from his titles? You know what I'm saying? We really don't know. We really don't know. Said y'all comprehend. He said y'all compared Bud versus Mean Machine and Ortiz versus Mean Machine. After comparing them, Bud better stay away from Spence. Bud has a lot of fundamental defensive holes. Yeah, you know, I think, you know, because styles make fights, it's really hard to compare Ortiz's performance and Bud's performance versus Mean Machine because they both stopped him. Ortiz stopped him around early. You know, but if you ask me right now who would win out of Terence Crawford and Virgil Ortiz, I'm picking Terence Crawford. Like today, if you ask me if Terence Crawford and Virgil Ortiz fought today, I'm picking Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, styles make fights. But, of course, you know how I feel about Spence versus Crawford. You know, I'm giving Spence the edge in that fight. I think Spence Crawford just matches up well, very well with Terence Crawford. You know, that'd be a great fight, and I still think Crawford have a chance to win, but I got Errol Spence in that fight. And it ain't just because I'm from Texas, because I'm from Dallas, and I rock with it. Nah, it's y'all already seen how I broke that fight down. You know what I mean? So I came with real facts and with real tendencies and skill set and styles, and you know, I really broke that shit down. So you know that I'm not just picking Errol Spence just cause. I'm really letting you know like why I think Errol Spence will beat Terence Crawford, but I think it's a great fight. Said Bud defense is not great and not that great how people say. Nah, it ain't. I don't think Bud is a great defensive fighter. I think his offense is his defense. You know what I'm saying? Just like how Manny Pacquiao was. Manny Pacquiao, his offense is his defense. Manny Pacquiao never been a great defensive fighter, you know? But he just throws something. His offense is so amazing that even if he have lapses in defense, he can get away with it because his offense is so overpowered. That's the same way I view Terence Crawford. Said, I'm a doctor. I think it's worse than they're saying. A minor retinal tear surgery would not have all those restrictions post-operatively. Man, that's a great point. And I'm going to take, you a doctor, bro, so I'm going to take your expertise. You know what I'm saying? And that's really just based off of what I read. That's the type of feel that I got. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, maybe it's some things that we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, and that's why I put Indefinitely in there, because I'm like, man, look, we really don't know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what's going to happen. Said I might go Ortiz. You think Ortiz will beat Crawford right now? I mean, I think he got a chance for sure. He definitely got a chance, but I'm picking Crawford in that fight. I think Crawford he's too experienced, and I think he'll be able to make adjustments. We seen Crawford make adjustments, you know? We seen Crawford make adjustments. I think he can make adjustments in that fight, and I think he can beat Ortiz right now. But if you know, Ortiz get a couple of more solid competitors in front of him and get some more experience, hey, man, you know, I think that just makes his chances better. You know what I'm saying? But I'm finna go ahead and get up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody for pulling up. You know what I mean? Thank y'all, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Merlot Fridays. You did what I'm saying. Appreciate everybody for coming through, liking the stream, commenting, super chat. You know, hope y'all have a great weekend, man, and shit. I might do a post-fight. I don't really know how, like, as far as the masses of the bulk of y'all, I don't really know how many people are actually interested in that Jake Paul and Woodley fight. So I might do like a post-fight reaction on that. You dig what I'm saying? I ain't buying that shit. You know what I'm saying? But if I get a chance to get my eye on the fight, you know, I might do like a post-fight reaction. So, man, y'all stay tuned, man. He said nobody. Y'all ain't fucking with Paul versus Woodley. Damn. But look, man, y'all have a great weekend, man. I'll holler at y'all boys, man. Contender regime. Boxing, y'all hold it down, man.